The galaxy was silent that night. Stars burned softly, planets moved in peace, and every living species believed the same thing. Humanity was gone forever. No one had heard from Earth in more than a century. No ships, no messages, no warnings, nothing. On the edge of the Talar system, Commander Rylak of the Varn Coalition watched the empty space with tired eyes. Their last defenses were falling. The enemy, the Tsar Dominion, had arrived with a fleet large enough to erase an entire star system. Everyone expected the same ending, total destruction. But then something happened. A single alarm beeped on the control deck. Quiet, soft, almost meaningless. Rylak frowned. "We are not expecting anything. Check it again." The officer's hands shook as he scanned the data. "Commander, it's a long-range FTL signal." Rylak froze. "From where?" The young officer swallowed hard. "From the Sol sector from Earth." For a moment, no one spoke. The bridge fell silent. Everyone knew the same truth. Earth was supposed to be dead. But the signal kept repeating. A deep, powerful pulse. A coded pattern. A message written in old human military format. Then the translation came through. "Stand by. Reinforcements en route." The crew stared at the screen in shock. Reinforcements? From who? One soldier whispered. "There are no humans left." But Rylak felt something he had not felt in years. Fear mixed with hope. Before he could speak, space beside the station began to distort. Not a small jump, not a scout ship. A massive FTL tear opened like a burning wound in the stars. And from inside that blinding light, something enormous began to emerge. Rylak's voice cracked as he whispered, "Impossible. Humanity had a fleet." He stepped forward, eyes wide. Then what is coming out of that jump? The light from the FTL tear grew brighter, spreading across the Talar system like a second sun. Every ship, every station, every crew froze in place as the distortion widened. Even the Tsar Dominion fleet paused their attack, confused by the sudden energy spike. Commander Rylak shielded his eyes. What kind of ship creates a jump this big? No one answered. They simply watched. Then, out of the glowing rift, the first shape appeared. A giant warship, larger than any vessel the Coalition had ever seen. Its armor was black with silver edges, and bright blue lines pulsed across its hull like living veins. The ship moved with slow, heavy power, as if the stars themselves made room for it. A whisper moved through the crew. Human design, but impossible. More shadows follow the first. One ship, then 3, then 10, then an entire armada filled the sky. Destroyers, carriers, dreadnoughts, each one marked with the same glowing emblem. Earth's Supreme Fleet. Rylak's heart slammed at his chest. They are real. Humanity survived. At the same moment, the Tsar Dominion fleet opened fire. Blue plasma bolts and heavy missiles rushed toward the newly arrived armada. If the humans were weak, they would die instantly. But the opposite happened. The lead human dreadnought activated a shield so bright and thick that the incoming fire evaporated before even touching it. Then a deep voice echoed across every channel, powerful and calm. "This is Admiral Taris of Earth. Coalition forces stand behind us. We will handle this." The human ships moved in perfect formation. Their weapons opened like the wings of metal giants, glowing with energy no one had ever seen. Rylak whispered, breathless, This is impossible power." And then humanity fired the first shot. The first shot from the Earth's Supreme Fleet tore across space like a screaming comet. It was not a normal weapon blast. It was faster, brighter, and far more controlled than anything the Talar system had ever witnessed. The beam hit the front line of the Tsar Dominion fleet, and 3 enemy cruisers vanished instantly. No explosion, no debris, just pure erasure. Commander Rylak felt his throat tighten. That wasn't a weapon. That was a statement. The human fleet did not rush. They moved with perfect calm, like veterans who had seen 1,000 wars. Their carriers deployed fighter swarms, sleek black ships with blue glowing wings that cut through enemy formations with impossible speed. A junior officer gasped. "They're not fighting, they're hunting." The Tsar Dominion panicked. Their ships pulled back and fired wildly, but the humans danced through the battlefield like shadows. Every dodge, every strike, every maneuver looked pre-planned, as if they had already seen the enemy's strategy. Then Admiral Tari spoke again, voice steady. "Coalition Command, your people are safe. Stay clear. We will eliminate the threat." Rylek could barely breathe. How did humanity build ships this strong? They disappeared for a century. But the answer came from a quiet whisper behind him. One scientist, trembling. Maybe they didn't die. Maybe they were preparing. The humans unleashed a second wave. This time, the weapons were different. Blue firestorms that bent around enemy shields, shockwaves that turned battleships into dust, and rail cannons that punched through armor like paper. Every attack carried the same message. Humanity had evolved far beyond anything the galaxy imagined. The Tsar commander tried to retreat, but a giant Earth dreadnought cut off his escape. Its cannons glowed white. Rylek whispered, stunned, "The humans are not just back." A blinding blast filled space. "They're unstoppable." The battlefield had turned silent. Silent except for the echo of human weapons tearing through the Tsar dominion. Coalition forces watched in awe as the unstoppable Earth Supreme Fleet kept pushing forward, each movement precise, each strike perfect. But something else was happening. Commander Rylek's station picked up a new signal, a secure human transmission. "Admiral Tari's is broadcasting, but only to us," an officer said. The message opened automatically. A calm voice spoke. "Coalition allies, we know you have questions. The truth must be told." Everyone leaned closer. Humanity was never destroyed. "We withdrew because we saw something coming." Rylek stiffened. Coming? What could scare humans enough to vanish for a century? The answer came immediately. A threat beyond your space. A force the galaxy is not ready to face. The crew exchanged fearful looks. The Tsar Dominion, who were already terrifying, were being annihilated easily. What could be worse than them? Admiral Tari's continued. "We retreated to rebuild, to evolve, to become strong enough to protect every world, ours and yours." Another blast lit up the stars as a human carrier destroyed a massive Tsar dreadnought without slowing down. "You were not abandoned," Tari said. "We promised to return when you needed us most." Rylek felt his chest tighten. "So this rescue was planned?" "No," the scientist whispered. "This is them keeping their word." Suddenly, the last Tsar flagship attempted a desperate jump to escape, but a human interceptor appeared behind it, firing a weapon that tore open its engines. The ship collapsed into molten fragments. Cheers erupted across coalition channels. But Admiral Tari's final words cut through the celebration like cold steel. The Tsar were never the true enemy. They were only the first wave. Rylek felt a chill run down his spine. "What is coming next?" he whispered. The last Tsar battleship exploded into glowing fragments, and for a moment the Talar system looked safe again. Coalition soldiers cheered, civilians cried with relief, and every surviving ship sent thanks to the Earth's Supreme Fleet. But Admiral Tari's did not celebrate. His voice returned on every open channel, calm, steady, and frighteningly serious. "Do not lower your defenses. The real threat is approaching." Commander Rylek froze. What does he mean? We just witnessed the strongest enemy fleet crushed like dust. But the answer arrived in the form of a new reading on the scanners. A dark shape appeared far beyond the system's edge. Not a ship, not a fleet, a shadow. It grew larger on every screen, blocking starlight like a moving wall. Sudden panic spread across the coalition bridge. "What is that?" an officer whispered. The human AI voice responded before anyone could speak. "Incoming anomaly. Classification, Revenant Class Harvester." Rylek stared in disbelief. Harvester? Of what? A chilling silence followed. Life. Then every coalition soldier felt the same cold fear. This thing, this massive shadow, was not made by any known species. It didn't move like a ship. It drifted like a living nightmare, feeding on the energy around it. Admiral Tari spoke again. "For 100 years, we fought creatures like these at the edge of the galaxy. They consumed systems, one star at a time. The shadow creature released a pulse of dark energy. The pulse washed over nearby asteroids, turning them into ash in seconds. Rylek's eyes widened. If that thing reaches a planet, it won't, Tari said firmly. This is why we returned. Human ships shifted formation instantly, preparing for a battle far more dangerous than the Tsar Dominion. The Earth's Supreme Fleet lit up their weapons. The Harvester turned toward them. The real war had finally arrived. The Harvester moved closer, swallowing starlight as if the universe itself was dimming. Its surface twisted like liquid metal, forming faces screaming silently. Every coalition ship watched in horror. This was not an enemy that could be reasoned with. It was a cosmic predator. Commander Rylek felt his heart pounding. Can even humans defeat that? Admiral Tari's answered calmly, as if reading his thoughts. We did not evolve to run. We evolved to protect. The Earth's Supreme Fleet spread out, forming a massive shield wall around the Talar system. Their dreadnoughts glowed with power far greater than anything used against the Tsar. A deep hum shook the battlefield. Humanity was charging something. The Harvester reacted. Its surface opened, revealing a core of swirling black energy. It released a beam of pure void, dark and silent. The beam hit the human front line. For the first time, Rylek saw a human ship take damage. But the ship didn't fall. Instead, its shields bent, glowed white-hot, then stabilized. Humanity had built defenses meant for monsters like this. Admiral Tari's gave the order. Earth Fleet, fire the Apex Array. Across the Armada, gigantic cannons unfolded, towering structures of rotating rings and glowing plasma coils. The rings aligned, humming louder and louder, until space vibrated. Then, the universe turned white. A colossal beam struck the Harvester, pushing it back for the first time, tearing chunks of darkness from its body. It screeched, a sound felt instead of heard. Coalition officers gasped. They're winning. The humans are winning. The Harvester tried to retreat, but the Supreme Fleet did not allow it. Another apex blast struck its core, and the monster collapsed into dust, dissolving into harmless particles. Silence filled the system. Then Admiral Tari's spoke one last time. To every world listening, humanity has returned, and we will not leave you alone again. For the first time in a century, the galaxy felt hope.